What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. We're the Pre-Pump Show. Zach and Nate here, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 most asked questions in the fitness industry. Welcome back, Zach. How you doing today?
What's up, Nate? I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, man. And it's a new day, sunny out, and it's a good day. So we're excited to dive right into this. Um, and at the end of the day, Zach and I don't really agree on some of these things we're going to talk about, which is going to make this podcast episode a little bit more interesting, more fun, and we're excited again to dive into this. So let's start off, man. Let's start off with question number one. Zach, go ahead and start, brother.
So, what type of training would you recommend to someone trying to lose weight?
What type? Could you repeat the question, sir?
What type of training would you recommend someone trying to lose weight?
Okay. What type of training? I would say this is a straightforward answer that I'm just going to give. I believe that every single person, no matter who you are, what your goal is, resistance training is my go-to answer, because I believe that there's so many benefits to building muscle. Um, and obviously, building muscle is going to help you with your weight loss and your fat loss journey. So that's the beginning of the answer to your question. I would say the second part is making sure that you're getting, you're increasing your energy expenditure, meaning you're burning calories throughout the day. So maybe that means getting more steps in. Um, maybe it means doing a specific type of cardio. So, but I would say my initial answer is whether it is for weight loss, whatever type of goals you have, resistance training is the type of training you need to do for whatever goal you have. Does that answer your question?
It does,
What
yeah.
would you say, Zach?
So, I like how you put the cardio, the expenditure in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
but what I would recommend definitely resistance training 100% in addition to the increasing your energy expenditure also,
Mm-hmm.
like you said. So strength training first and then cardio after is always ideal. The strength training is going to be muscle building for you, which is like a long-term body toning side effect and specifically a weight loss journey. This is what's going to make you look better after you lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Now the cardio aspect is kind of the short-term confidence boost for you because you're going to see weight loss immediately from the cardio because like Nate said, you're going to be getting more steps in, you're going to be burning more calories. So the cardio is going to help you burn body fat, but the strength training, the resistance training is going to help you actually get a good body, a nice toned body. If you don't do the strength training and you just do cardio, you're going to look saggy if you were to lose a lot of weight. And nobody wants to lose a lot of weight and then actually hate themselves even more.
Yeah, what do we see most of the time when people go on these weight loss or fat loss
Mm-hmm.
journeys? They lose a bunch of weight quick, fast, and they still aren't satisfied with how they
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
It's because they're not prioritizing their weight training, meaning they're not building muscle, quality muscle, and actually giving you that shape and form that you truly want in the end result. So again, you're not just trying to lose weight. The number on the scale isn't as important as how you look and feel.
Mm.
There's so many other ways to go about your fitness journey instead of focusing so much on the scale. And most of the time, when that does happen, you end up just trying to find the quickest and fastest route, which in the end isn't the best result for you. And then which when you lose a bunch of weight, hardly build any muscle. What does that result in? Well, skinny fat is what I say.
Yeah, I was just about to go into skinny
Okay,
fat. Like
yeah,
even we're not just talking about people who are like super fat, even someone who's, of an average weight,
right,
just trying to drop down a few
right,
pounds. Like you can lose 10, 15 pounds and still get that skinny fat look and
yeah.
really just kind of ruin your physique.
Yeah, I always look at like the muscle to fat ratio.
Mm,
The muscle to fat ratio when people first start their journeys is the fat is way up here and the muscle is way down here. And so when you go on a hardcore weight loss, fat loss journey, you know, you're just bringing down your fats, but you have no muscle. So now, you may even look worse than you did before because you're not like you don't have that muscular look that you used to have, which was really just fat in the end. But now your muscle and fat ratio is just very low. So again, you got to start. It'd be easier to work on your muscle mass at the start of your journey rather than starting to have to build up your muscle when you've dropped all this fat. So, because then when you drop the fat, like Zach said, you're giving yourself that shape and form that you're looking for, and you actually look decent.
Can I explain a little off topic thing
Yo,
too?
what's up?
So like in a weight loss journey specifically, I look at this as like a scale, and I this is how I explain it to people. You have muscle growth on one end and then fat loss on the other end.
Mm.
As fat as you start losing body fat, your muscle growth is going to go up. So even though your weight doesn't like fluctuate maybe, you need to understand that your muscle growth is going to cause your weight to fluctuate upwards while the body fat is going downwards. So ideally, you want that to be, if not dropping, stable.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Amen to that. Let's move on to the next question.
All right, number 2, Nate, how important is nutrition?
This is a huge question here. There's so many ways to go about this as far as how important nutrition is. I think at the end of the day, everyone understands that having a good nutrition, a good healthy eating habits is obviously important, right? So we can even just throw that out the door as far as if it's important or not. It is important to have a good nutritional diet or even just eating habits. But it is essential, super highly important when it also comes to now when you're talking about building muscle and burning fat, when you're talking about body composition, weight loss, fat loss, even maybe doing specific, having specific goals. Maybe you want to do a bodybuilding show or compete at a certain, level or sport even. Nutrition is obviously going to play a huge important role in that. So again, not only is nutrition important when it comes just to the average person, the normal life of day to day living and having energy and feeling good, right? But also performing well in whatever sport you're in or activity you're trying to do.
I love the way how you brought into the life aspect of it. So let's put away fitness for a second. If you
Yeah.
want to be able to live functionally as a human being, as a father, as a son, as a brother, whatever it may be, you need to have a good nutrition program, or else you're not going to have energy. You're not going to be able to think. You're not going to be able to perform at a job, at school, whatever it may be. So yeah, specifically even in a fitness journey, it's even more crucial
Yeah.
if you want to see results or want to be able to perform in the gym
Yeah.
or even cardio.
Right.
Like how many times do we see people get fatigued, pass out at the gym because people are just so malnutrition because their diet is so off
Mhm.
track.
And you're missing out on a ton of gains and a ton of fat loss progress.
Mm.
When if you actually dial in your nutrition, and what do we mean by that is like actually understanding your calorie intake, your macro goals, and understanding what you're actually putting into your body and how much you're actually consuming. That will actually increase your progress, in which is so beneficial to your journey because again, you want to see progress quicker, faster than normal. So the best way to do that is make sure you're getting your dialed in nutrition. And I know way too many people who are just tired of not being where they want to be. But if they would just understand how to create themselves a meal plan or a nutritional guideline that they can stick with for a long period of time, but bro, they'd be at their goal years
Hmm.
ago. You know what I mean?
Nutrition is definitely the one thing that holds people back from their reaching their fitness
Yeah.
goals. It's never the training aspect.
Right.
But I also wanted to mention was what's cool about coaches like Nate or myself is we have a software that actually tracks more than just your calories and your macros. We dive into the micronutrients to make sure you're actually hitting nutrient levels to be able to perform as a human being. So it's pretty cool that there's different levels to nutrition, and people like us take it so serious and really dive into the specifics of the nutrition.
Right. Yeah. That's why we have these systems, is because it makes it easier for you guys who maybe are beginners or even who have been in the game for a while but just don't really understand how nutrition works. We have these systems that will literally take care of those, roadblocks or challenges that you face with, having to track your calories every single day isn't practical. Think about long term, think about making this a lifestyle. No one really wants to track your food and at the end of the day, if you're looking for something that just gets rid of the guesswork, maybe takes care of how much you should eat, what to eat, like these systems that we have created have actually made it a lot easier for people to just focus on training hard, staying consistent, and making sure that, trusting that whatever they're eating, what the system has for them is actually getting them closer to their goals. And it does, it's proven, so they get the results, and that's all that matters.
Boom.
Boom.
We ready to move on?
Let's do it.
All right, Nate, next. What's more important? Is what you eat or how much you eat more important?
This is a great question. I love this question because I think it goes both ways at the end. Like, obviously, what you eat is important. You've heard that phrase before, right? You are what you eat. And, I don't believe that just because you're in a deficit means that you can eat all the crap you want, right? I think at the end of the day, you are what you eat, and also what you eat is going to determine how you feel, right? Um, just for an example, you can pick fattier meats, right, that have a higher percentage in fat, or leaner meats. And if you were to maybe try to test it out and see how you feel, maybe after eating 80/20 beef versus, I don't know, a super lean 96, maybe you're not going to feel too big of a difference. But as far as like maybe consistently eating maybe higher fats in foods, greasier foods, a lot of sugar compared to leaner, cleaner foods, definitely you're going to feel a difference. You're going to maybe even perform better, and you might even probably will get better results, I would say. So when it comes to what you eat, I do believe that is important as far as sticking to more of the healthier, leaner stuff. But I would say how much you eat is just as crucial because, again, if we're talking about just the simple idea of calories in, calories out, meaning if you just want to lose weight, want to burn fat, or want to lose fat, just eat less. Eat less calories than what your body is used to eating to maintain its weight. Or if you're trying to gain, just eat more calories, right? So at the end of the day, I believe it is about calories in, calories out, but I'm not someone who's just going to tell you, hey, eat whatever you want, just make sure you're in a deficit. What's your take? Let me hear you exact, because this is kind of a little debate here.
All right, so I'm glad you went into depth about it is important what you eat and not only about the Seco factor.
Yeah.
Because I'm anti-Seco. So here's
Calories in, calories out.
yeah, there you go. Calories in, calories out, Seco. Um, yes, that is obviously important for like weight loss or fat loss in general, but more importantly, what we eat, like you said, affects us. How we think, how we feel, and specifically more in depth, it affects our hormones. So like our hunger hormones, things like that.
Yeah.
So now imagine you're trying to eat in a calorie deficit and your hunger hormones are shooting through the roof.
Right.
And now you're starving all throughout the day.
Mhm.
What are the chances that you're going to be able to fight starving cravings 24/7?
Exactly. Right.
So there's things like that.
Yeah. When
Uh,
you're eating a lot of protein, right, that's going to keep you full throughout
right,
the day. So then you
right.
can actually do better in staying in a calorie deficit because that protein's keeping you fuller. So, instead of just eating a bunch of sugar, high calorie stuff. Like, I remember you posted something, and it was a cool like diagram of just like when you eat low calorie foods, but a lot of it quantity wise, you actually stay full. Like, it fills up your stomach.
Mhm.
Whereas you eat like high calorie stuff but very low quantity, you're still gonna be hungry, like you just said. So it's like filling yourself up with good food but like low calories versus filling yourself up with very little food but high calories. And that's what people really just don't understand, why they're not losing weight, or why I've been eating healthy or somewhat healthy, but I'm still not losing weight. Well, it's because, they're just eating way more than they should be.
Volume eating, big
Mhm.
term that's in the weight loss community, in the bodybuilding community. Like, we want to lose weight, we want to tone up by eating as much as possible. And what does that mean? It means eating a ton of low calorie food options.
Mhm.
And I want to go back to what you said about, what it's like eating a lot of food versus a little amount of food and how it
Mhm.
affects our stomach capacity. So imagine eating things like candy. Imagine like a container of Oreos, right? Not only is it horrible calorie wise for you, but the nutrients involving the macros and micros it's going to not only make you addicted to having the Oreos, but it's going to
Mhm.
actually starve your body more because you're not getting
Mm.
any nutrients.
Yeah.
Like we are people who need nutrients to survive. That's why ancestors and whatnot, they had fruit, veggies, meat,
Yeah.
right? They didn't have all these candies and stuff.
Right.
So when you eat stuff like Oreos, your body is more malnutritioned,
Hmm.
going to make you even more hungry because your body is starving from not getting healthy fats, sustainable carb source, and a protein.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's good stuff. I had a thought, but I lost it, so we'll move on here. Question number 4. I'm gonna ask you, Zach, this one here. What time of the day is it best to work out?
So I don't think this is a an answer that's like a one size fits all. I think it's catered towards you specifically, the individual. There is science that says working out in the morning is gonna be better for you. There is science that says working out in the nighttime is going to be better for you. So I mean, it's really up to personal preference, how you feel, what your lifestyle is. If you work a job, maybe you need to go after the job. If you work a job and then have something in the evening, maybe you need to go in the morning. Maybe you can work out during a lunch period. You have to, okay, I said this last time in the podcast, you have to transform fitness into your lifestyle and not transform your lifestyle to be oriented around fitness.
Amen. Yeah, I would give this. This is my advice to people who are trying to figure out their schedule: is just pick a time and stick with it, because you don't want to have different times of the week where you're going to the gym in the morning, or you're going to the gym at night, or you're going to the gym in the afternoon. Because what that's going to cause is for you to maybe push back your workout time and make it convenient for when you want to go. And a lot of the times you just don't end up going, right? Because
Mm.
maybe something comes up, or you get lazy, you get tired, you make excuses. And so I would say pick a time that you're going to commit to, same time of the day. Then that way you actually look forward to and under and ahead of time know, okay, this is when I'm going to the gym. You kind of hold yourself accountable when you just keep the same schedule, the same routine, rather than having workouts all over the place, and missed workouts. And I think that's a great way for people to actually stay on track, is having a good routine and a schedule that they stick to. And here's the thing: if you do end up missing the gym, well, then it's like you can either pick back up tomorrow, and same time that you committed to, or you just make it up for another day on your rest day or something. um, but I always say, yeah, it really doesn't matter time of day. Just make sure that you stick to one time, and you stay consistent in that. I would also say though, you know, from my experience, I like to work out not on an empty stomach. I like to have food in my system. Where this guy over here is so used to just training on an empty stomach, fasting, and that works for him. I honestly would love to go to the gym at 5 a.m. every morning and hit the weights, knock it out, be done with it. But to be honest, I've experienced that I don't get good workouts because I'm still trying to wake up. I probably wouldn't be able to lift as heavy as I would compared to later in the day. Just because I have more energy, I have more food in me, I have more things to burn off of in the morning. But it works perfectly fine for Zach, and he's been doing it for a few months now, and I'm happy for him that he can do that. But I don't think that's for me.
I didn't even think about that aspect. Yeah, you got to fit your working out around how your body feels, whether it's fasted, not
Yeah,
fasted, things like that, digestion
right.
periods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
because like if you want to perform, like the reason why you want to perform well in the gym is because you're going to get better results, right? If you're just going to the gym and every time you go to the gym you feel lazy, you feel droggy, you just feel like you're dragging. Oh, I just can't wait to be done with this. Like I don't even want to be here. Well, that is the result of you not getting good results, you know, because you're not training hard in the gym, you're not performing well in the gym, therefore you're not going to get good results. You get, I hate to say it, but you put in half-ass work in the gym, you're gonna get half-ass results. So again, you get what you put in, and that's that. So
Question. I'll give you a little golden nugget here. So you talked about how having a set routine in terms of training is going to improve efficiency because you're going to stick to it.
mm-hmm.
What does that look like in terms of nutrition and having a set routine for that?
Super super highly recommend meal prep. I'm a huge guy of meal prep. I believe that really, if you're on any type of journey, meal prep is going to set you up for success. So what that looks like is picking a day or two out of the week to make time for meal prep. A couple hours just to cook your food, and prioritize that, because then you don't have to worry about it during the week. I'm so like thankful that I meal prep on a Sunday during the week. Like I thank myself, man. Thank God that I literally meal prep my food on Sunday, because now I can just go to the kitchen, pop it in the microwave, and just eat it. Like I don't even have to think. So again, what does it look like to actually have a schedule for having a good nutrition, meal prep, and yeah, that's pretty much what I would say.
I love it. That
Yeah,
works.
cool.
You ready for the last question
Let's
here?
do it, bro.
All right, so Nate, how much cardio should you do and what type of cardio is best?
So I've always heard, 150 minutes per week is good to start. I do think that is even a lot of cardio for someone who doesn't do cardio, because what that looks like would be just basically 30 minutes, 5 days a week. And what type of cardio? I post about this a lot. I've always recommended the LISS cardio, which stands for low intense steady state cardio. What that looks like is you just hop on a cardio machine like the treadmill, stairmaster, or even a bike, and you do that for a certain period of time, but at a very low intensity state. So it's actually proven that LISS cardio helps to burn more fat efficiently compared to doing something like HIIT cardio, because what you're doing for LISS cardio is you're getting your heart rate up to sort of a perfect fat burning zone, whereas HIIT cardio, you're going way up to a different. You're breaking through a different level of your heart rate levels, which breaks into like the cardiovascular, like the really like the where your body your heart rate's just working so hard to keep that up, whereas you're not even like burning fat so much, but you're burning more calories. But it is like LISS cardio actually ends up being more fat burning rather than HIIT cardio. So that's why I prefer LISS cardio. Actually, I had this diagram. If I can just pull it up real quick, I literally screenshot this because I wanted to actually talk more about this. So HIIT versus LISS, real quick. High intensity. So HIIT stands for high intensity intervals training. And let's be honest, right? When people say they do HIIT cardio, it's not really HIIT cardio, because HIIT cardio, bro, is high intense. I mean, this is literally you're gassing yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
You literally go to your limits, if not past your limits, right? So I would say most people aren't even doing HIIT cardio. They're most likely doing just interval training, whereas they're doing a certain workout, maybe they move on to the next one, they take a little break in between, whereas HIIT cardio is just all intensity, no breaks, right? So what HIIT cardio is okay, you burn more calories. You can get it under 20 minutes or less, so it's a lot shorter. You increase your peak performance, but here's a cons, here's the negatives. It's taxing on the body, right? You're pushing your body to its limits. There is risk of injury because you're doing a lot of movements, right? Especially for older people who, we talked about box jumps that one time,
Mm-hmm.
burpees. Obviously those things are good. It's not like don't be afraid to do those, right? But they're just very hard. And if you're someone who just wants to get to their goals and not really worry about performance itself, then LISS cardio is going to be better. Whereas you're going to burn more fat. You are going to spend more time on there, but it is more rewarding in the end. Um, it's going to increase your endurance, which is why you're doing it for a longer period of time. Fast recovery. So like as soon as you're done, your body kind of just um, works itself to get back to its normal state again, because your heart rate's not too high. It's obviously safe. Treadmill, stairmasters. Obviously, you're just going on a machine, and it's fairly easy. So that's why I have my clients do LISS cardio, and that basically answers that question on my part. What would you say? How much cardio do you have your clients do, and what type of cardio would you say?
So
Or even intervals?
honestly, cardio for weight loss, I would recommend and put people on 30 minutes a day minimum for weekdays. Weekends, obviously, I'd recommend get your cardio in. It's going to only help weight loss, but I don't recommend it to everybody just because people need, a balanced lifestyle.
Yeah.
Give them the 2 days off because they're not bodybuilders like
Right.
us. They're normal human beings, older, maybe have kids and whatnot. So yeah, 30 minutes a day probably after weight training would be ideal, guys. And I do agree, LISS cardio is ideal for weight loss. I think It's actually ideal for anyone who's not like an athlete or track star who needs to run long distances. If you're not running a marathon, I don't think you need to be doing HIIT cardio.
Right.
What I would recommend though, like what does list look like? It would look like doing in my coaching and what I do personally, high incline as possible, and then like a fast walking pace to a walking pace.
Mhm.
Something like that where you know your heart rate's going to be up, you're going to sweat a ton, you're breathing heavily, and it's like a constant grind all the way through.
Yeah.
And what we see with list cardio is when you're doing it, you start to get like gassed out um, in like the first few minutes, but then it comes to a point where like you don't really feel like the lactic acid build up and your body starts feeling normal, and it's a pain that isn't really there. You just get a little bit more normal to it after
Yeah.
you feel the lactic acid building up.
Yeah. I would say it gets easier as the more you do it. You get used to it. I would say though, also like just be aware of your heart rate, and depending on where your heart rate is, for me at least, depends on sort of your intensity of the machine that you're doing it at. So like you're doing it at a high incline, but if your heart rate up is either not getting high enough, then obviously increase the speed. If it's too high, then you want to decrease the speed. So again, you want to get into a good heart rate zone. And what you can do is just go on Google or something and look up, your heart rate for the fat burning zone chart or something. And it'll pull up a chart where it has your age in which your heart rate should be. And it's basically you want to be in like the 60 to 70%, or maybe even 50%. 50 to 70% is the range at which you want to be at for your list cardio. Again, you start going above 70%, you're hitting, that cardiovascular, you're hitting your body's, that zone, that fat, that hard red zone is what they call it. So yeah, look up the chart and then figure out where your age to heart rate ratio is at 60 to 70%. And then just follow that when you hop on a cardio machine. Make sure you get up to that number and you stay in that range for the remainder of however long you're doing cardio for.
I love it. So question,
Yeah.
just for giggles, what is your most recommended cardio machine for someone trying to lose body fat?
I like the Stairmasters. I feel like it's very effective. Just because I can tell most Stairmasters are pretty much the same. You can tell anybody, hey, just do level 5.
Hmm.
Whereas treadmill, I like treadmills too. I do it myself because our gym doesn't have it, obviously. But um, then I gotta tell people, okay, here's what incline to do, and here's what speed I want you to do. And sometimes just everyone's different. Me and my buddy Randy, actually, we hop on a treadmill once, and we both did the same incline at the same speed, and my heart rate was a lot higher than his, and that just shows like his cardio is a lot better than mine. Like, and he's a lot more in shape, quote unquote, as you can say, as far as like his health, his heart. Whereas mine was kind of like having to work a little harder to stick to that pace, and I hardly ever do a lot of cardio like that. So for me, I had to reduce the speed, maybe even the incline, to fit into my 120 to 130 heartbeats per minute.
I love that. I'm a big Stairmaster guy myself, actually. I was kind of known back in Cleveland as like the Stairmaster
Oh,
guy.
really?
Everyone, yeah, I was on the Stairmaster all the time, sweating all over it.
Yeah.
But if you're older or have like knee problems,
Yeah.
just use a treadmill. That's fine too.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on the rope machine, like rope climbing,
Um,
mountain climbing?
is that the one you just sit down and you just pull? Oh,
No,
no.
it's
Oh, like the one
you
you
lay forward.
crawl?
Yes, yes,
Okay, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. I have not done that.
Oh, I love it.
That
I love
one
that
must. I
too.
know you can only probably stay on that for so long, huh?
I
10 minutes or what?
25.
Really?
Dude, I'm a cardio freak.
But you could just go slow, right?
No, dude. I mean, I'm going. Yeah, I don't
What?
go super slow. I'm telling you
And that,
guys
ladies and gentlemen, is how you lose 170 pounds in 11 months.
straight up. Amen to that. I'm waiting for the day that we hop on a stairmaster together.
Yeah, I'm not going fast.
Yeah.
I'm going to like, especially now because I'm cutting a little bit. I
Yeah,
don't want to lose too much muscle.
you're
So
carrying around less weight. You're fine. You can run a little
no,
bit.
I'm saying,
I know you want to lose it.
honestly, my go-to like perfect rate is like level 4 speed on a stairmaster.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have people go like I sometimes I meet my clients and they're like saying they're already doing like level 10 and up, 10 to 15 speed on stairmaster. I was like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? You don't have to do that. And they say they go on for like 30 minutes. It's like, number one, do I believe them? But number two, it's like, that's the thing. A lot of people are doing things that just aren't necessary, um, and that they could be doing things a lot more efficient,
That's
smart.
insanely impressive, though. Someone like that,
Yeah, I know,
30 minutes
but
at 10?
but it's like, then why do they look like the way they look? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So again, do I believe them? I don't know, but if they are doing it, they're probably not doing it as consistent as they say they are. And again, you don't really need to do that. Same thing with hit cardio, unless you're trying to perform better in a specific sport or whatever. But if you're just an average person like us who's just trying to build muscle, burn fat, this cardio is gonna be perfect for you. And again, 150 minutes a week is perfect. You can, even if you're starting off, you can, I would say, maybe start off a little lower than that, like maybe start off at like either 15 to 20 minutes to start off after your training, because again, you also are making sure, our first question was, what was it about training, what
What
type
type
of
of,
training,
yeah.
yeah, should you do. We just talk about resistance training, which we could dive more into that, and more specifically as far as what type of training. We're obviously more of the hypertrophy guys. I mean,
Hmm.
we already talked about the bro split and the PPL split, but what type of training? Hypertrophy, meaning you're, progressive overload. You're doing a certain amount of reps for a certain amount of weight. You're increasing the weight, maybe doing a little less reps, but you're pushing your body to, you know, increase and grow strength. And so, yeah, back to the cardio. Shoot, I honestly forgot what I was gonna say, but
Can I go back and touch on the training for
yeah,
weightlifting
sure,
too?
why not, bro?
Yeah, so I can't believe we skipped over this, both of us,
I
on the
know.
terms of lifting a hypertrophy bodybuilding split.
Mm-hmm.
Because bodybuilding versus powerlifting, bodybuilding is to look aesthetic, powerlifting is to lift a lot.
Yeah.
If you're fat and trying to lose weight, you don't care about how, or you shouldn't care about how much you lift. You want to care about what you look like physically.
Right.
So that's why you got to really focus in on a hypertrophy bodybuilding split if you're trying to lose weight and tone up your body.
Now there is this other side, Zach, that I
Oh
want to
my,
mention,
hit me.
because bodybuilding and powerlifting, they are two different things, but I believe they both would implement, or they both would complement each other. They are both useful for the bodybuilder to do powerlifting, and for the powerlifter to do bodybuilding. I truly believe this, because as I'm doing a bodybuilding training type of lifestyle, whatever, I am sort of doing powerlifting, because there's be some moments where I'll try and work up to either close to my max, or 80% of to my max, and I may be only getting 2 to 4 reps. You know what I mean? Um, this is obviously, again, this would be obviously a form of progressive overload, but you're pushing yourself to push more weight, and eventually the more you do that, obviously the more stronger you're going to get, the more you're going to be able to do more reps with that weight that you tried to max out with or started off with. So I believe that powerlifting would complement bodybuilding, but I'm not saying do that all the time. I'm saying, maybe it's your last set of every exercise, you're only getting like your reps are starting to look like 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 reps. And honestly, that's how I train. Like sometimes I'll do 3 sets, and I post my workouts online. Maybe I start off with 12 to 15, then it's 10 to 12, then it's 8 to 10. And my last set sometimes can be like 4 to 6 reps. Like I did squats yesterday, in my last set, I probably only got like 4 reps. So that is a form of powerlifting. Powerlifters, that's how they actually train, is doing a lot of sets for like only 5 reps. Like, they'll do like 5 5s, or, sometimes they do like 10 5s. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen guys just do
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
sets? And I mean, that's basically their whole workout.
Hmm.
But again, I wanted to share that input as well.
I like that. I'm against it.
Yeah, I know he is. But powerlifting too, I think powerlifting, they can obviously benefit from bodybuilding type of training, because um, I believe that bodybuilding, in my experience, does get you stronger. I believe increasing the weight, um, that's ultimately going to benefit your lifts anyway. I don't believe that you should just do 1 rep of every single exercise every single week and every single day. So implementing that, you know, bodybuilding type training, where maybe you're going to failure, you're doing drop sets, that I believe too will increase your powerlifting um, goals as well.
I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you listening. We hope that this truly just helped you guys out in some way, shape, or form, give you some practical advice on the top 5 most asked questions in the fitness industry. This was fun. Huh, Zach? Would you agree?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's awesome that we can answer some of the biggest questions in the industry.
Yeah. So if you guys need more help or assistance or have any questions, please feel free to reach out either via Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is you guys are following us on. Definitely go to our socials and just reach out. We're happy to help. And if you guys are actually specifically looking for a coach, we have two options here. Zach is more obviously geared towards the obesity guys, who, he basically help guys who it is where Zach has been, 350, losing over 150 pounds in a short amount of time. That's his niche. And for me, I'm just focused on guys who maybe either have been skinny fat or the average person looking to lose 20 to 30 pounds and build quality muscle. You got two amazing coaches here. If you're interested in just learning more information, again, please feel free to reach out. Nonetheless, we appreciate you guys' support and love. We're super excited to keep going. We know we got more ideas coming up here soon, so stay tuned for more. Obviously, we love you guys. Appreciate your support. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and have a great day.